Hi, welcome to my stories. Today I'm going to tell you a story that comes from the country of Japan. It is called Nezumi the Rat. On the board are the names of some of the characters in the story, and they are real Japanese words so that you can read them and follow along. Once upon a time in old Japan, there lived a rat, and his name was Nezumi. Nezumi was very wealthy, and he was very proud. And what he was most proud of was his daughter, who was very smart and very kind and very, very beautiful. So as was the custom in those days, when she was old enough to marry, Nezumi went around the village and looked at all the eligible young bachelor rats, but he could not find any whom he thought was good enough for his wonderful daughter. So he came home and called her over. And he said, "I have decided that you are going to marry someone very, very powerful, and I'm going to go out and find him for you." "But Papa," his daughter said, "I don't want to marry someone very, very powerful. I already know who I want to marry." And she called over the nice young rat who lived next door, and she said, "He's the one that I want to marry." "My daughter," said Nezumi, "marry an ordinary rat from next door? Never." And he sent the young rat home, and he sent his daughter to her room and told her to stay there until he came back. The very next day, Nezumi set out into the world, and he walked and he walked, and at about noon he was feeling very hot. So he looked up and saw Taiyo, the sun. "Oh, Taiyo is someone who is very powerful. I will go and ask him if he will marry my daughter." So he climbed up to the tallest mountain he could find, and he said, "Good morning, Taiyo. I have a wonderful daughter, and I want her to marry someone who is very, very powerful, and I think you are very powerful." "It is true that I am powerful," said Taiyo, "because I give light and I give warmth, and without my light and my warmth, nothing would grow on the earth. But there is someone who sometimes can be more powerful than me, and that is Kumo, the cloud. You see, when Kumo covers my face, I cannot give light and I cannot give warmth. So at that moment, Kumo is more powerful than I am." "Thank you," said Nezumi. "I will go and ask Kumo if he will marry my daughter." So he came down the mountain and went up a tall hill and said, "Good morning, Kumo. I have a wonderful daughter, and I want her to marry someone who is very, very powerful, and I think you are very powerful." "I am indeed very powerful," said Kumo the cloud, "because I make rain, and without rain, nothing grows on the earth. But there is someone who sometimes is more powerful than I am, and that is Kaze, the wind." You see, when Kaze blows on my face, it tears me into little shreds, and then I cannot give rain. So then at that moment, Kaze the wind is more powerful than I am. "Thank you," said Nezumi. "I will go and ask Kaze the wind to marry my daughter." So he came down the mountain and found a field where he could speak to Kaze the wind. "Good morning, Kaze," he said. "I have a wonderful daughter, and I want her to marry someone who is very, very powerful, and I think you are very, very powerful." "It is true that I am powerful," said Kaze the wind, "because I fill up the sails of ships and let them travel around the world making great discoveries. But there is someone who sometimes is more powerful than me, and that is Kabe, the wall. You see, Sometimes if I meet up with Kabe the wall, I will blow and blow and blow and nothing happens. My winds will go in all directions and I have to turn back. So at that moment, Kabe the wall is more powerful than me. Thank you, said Nezumi. I will go and ask Kabe the wall if he will marry my daughter. So he went to another part of the field to speak to Kabe the wall. Good morning, Kabe. I have a wonderful daughter and I want her to marry someone who is very, very powerful. And I think you are very, very powerful. When I am built well, I am indeed very powerful and very strong. But there is someone who sometimes can be more powerful than me. Who is that? Nezumi asked. And Kabe said, a rat. A rat, Nezumi said. Why is a rat more powerful than you? Well, rats make holes under my foundations, said Kabe. And if the holes are large, my bricks all fall and I come tumbling down. I crumble into pieces. So rats sometimes are more powerful than I am. Oh, thank you, said Nezumi. I know now what I must do. So Nezumi ran home and he called his daughter over. And he said, oh, my child, I have been such a fool. Please forgive me. I have searched all over the world for you to marry someone powerful when that person was right here all along. And he told his daughter to go and get the nice young rat who lived next door. And Nezumi gave his permission for his daughter to marry the nice young rat, and they did. They got married and they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed listening to Nezumi the Rat. And I also hope that you come back for some more of my stories and to have some of your favorite books read aloud. So come back soon. But for now, bye-bye.